So we'll start off, introduce ourselves. Here are our names. This one has gone through more nicknames than I have. I stuck with one and sticking with it. His nickname in high school was Adonis, got into the community, and then decided to go with his real name because it sounds so fucking awesome for St. Night Late, Nick Quick, and now his family and stuff is Googling him and finding out. So if you look on our website now, it's Nick Road.
It actually ended up getting me laid a lot more, especially I'm living in Colombia now. Let's say that Google Translate is not the kindest to me when you go ahead and figure out what my site is. So I absolutely had to nail the girl the first time I met her because she's going to Google it later and it's not going to be the most pleasant thing when she looks it up. But it actually got me a lot better. And that's what we're here to do, is teach you guys so that you're able to do the same thing. So,
all right, so first off, show of hands, since we had like that amazing speech yesterday, who actually went out last night? All right, nice. Who got laid last night? Show of hands.
Cheater.
All right. All right. He brought the girl with him.
Yes.
But she's hot, so yeah. All right, so we have the winner. How many people are planning on going out tonight? All right, and how many people want to get laid tonight? That's a good answer. I like that one. That's what we are here to talk about and make sure that happens.
Although I almost feel like we're at a Mormon convention here where I'm not feeling some fucking excited. Who wants to get laid tonight? Alright, so that's what we're here to help you with. Not, somewhere down the road. We as men, we don't want to wait for the sex. We want it to happen not somewhere off in the distant future. We want it to happen tonight. So, we are going to give you 5 quick fix strategies that you can implement regardless of your abilities right now to get laid. If you guys fucking suck with women, all you have to do is these 5 things that we're going to give you, and do them half-assed. Do them at an average, mediocre level, and you will be getting laid. Alright? So, we get into that?
Yeah. Really quick, our background is a part of the speech. We're supposed to give our background for those guys who aren't familiar with us, because we know some people aren't. But instead of getting into that, you can find on our website. What we thought was important to say was this number right here, 71.4. As of right now, we've been teaching boot camps for 4 years now, and 71.4% of our students get laid on the boot camp within 3 days. And that's, well, one is we're fucking relentless. We make sure you do what you have to do, and we don't have we don't concentrate on the little stuff that helps. But it isn't huge. Like, if you're standing with a girl, you need to make sure that 60% of your weight is on one foot. Yeah, you do look more attractive that way, but that has nothing to compare with if you actually sexually escalate. So that's what we try and make sure people do. So we are going to be getting into how that happens today, what we do, and since we know through experience, we are not going to be able to cover all the stuff that we want to today. So at the end of this presentation, we'll give you some references where you can go to find out more if you want to. These are the 2 things that we have on our website. The St. Night Simplified, which is described on page 2 and everything. It's our be-all, end-all, 4-module, anything you need to know, one little package. And then the other one is a monthly coaching program where we actually call you and give you kicks in the ass and make sure you're going out and practicing.
So cool, we'll actually get into some of the techniques, but we want to talk a little bit about some of the experiences that people have had implementing the exact strategies that we're going to be talking about in this presentation.
Alright, so this is just an email, guys, that has very insightful on the inner workings of how to get laid in bed SAP. Everything I've learned, I've applied and had amazing results. I'm grabbing titties left and right and putting more hands on my dick than ever before. He didn't actually specify whose hands. Maybe it's just he's using his left hand and usually it's his right. But I like to take it as he's women are touching his dick. That's all I got out of it. And actually, Jonathan, I don't mean to put you on the spot, but I remember you came up to me yesterday and told us how much you liked the stuff that we were teaching. And if you don't mind just standing up and just briefly telling everyone your experience and once you started moving girls around the venue, how easy or difficult that was for you.
I know, yeah, you guys I learned from you guys from the seminar, and it really does impact as far as going up to the girl, being honest, as far as saying that being direct and saying, I know you took a lot of time to get ready, but I'm to say that I really appreciate it. Being genuine about it. And it's really not hard to move her, really. You just say, come with me to the bars, go to get some drinks. I usually just go for shots of water. And then you just move her around. It really is. It's really easy to comply. You just gotta be more dominant. That's the whole thing I never was before. It's just assuming it. Never ask, always assume. And that's what you guys mentioned, so I attest to that.
Well, thank you very much, appreciate it.
And we're actually going to be getting into the exact strategy to move her around and how that's actually going to get more women in your bed. So,
all right, so here's our agenda. Here's what we're going to be talking about. Number one, the things that you absolutely have to do before sex can happen. Now, these are the bare minimum. If you miss one of these things, sex is not happening. So, do these things. I would talk about the biggest cock block we face as men and in life, and our 5 prerequisites for sex. So those are like the 5 things actually that have happen. We're going to spend the majority of our time talking about isolation, a way that we do isolation that is fucking stellar, and how to close, like closing the deal at the end.
and the thing about these 5 things is that, like I mentioned before, only at an average to mediocre level. Now, if you could do 4 of these 5 things at a fucking expert level, but you miss one of them, you're going home to jerk off again. But if you do, you're going home to your best girlfriend right here. But if you do all 5 of these, even at an average subpar level, all 5 of them, you will be getting laid. This happens in every seduction. So let's get into it.
So first off, how many people in here have like same night lay, same night seduction? That purple shirt guy, I know you did, because you got laid last night. All right, so good. So it's happening. It's around. Girls are going out to clubs with the idea, not like, well, maybe if, like, no, I'm looking to get laid tonight. Jenny, we're getting you laid. You're done with that dick of a boyfriend. We're going to get you laid tonight. And then they go out and they don't get laid, because no guys escalate on them. They go home sad and cry and play with their gun. It's all sad like. So in every case, so there are these 5 elements that need to be present, as we said. And as Nick was talking about, they all have to be there. Even if you're just shitty at it, like, well, I'm not quite sure how to escalate, or I don't know how to go, I like her to, to do some weird touching thing that's not the best. It's horrible even, but at least you're doing it. You're still going to get laid a lot more than guys who aren't doing them at all. And here they are. Ta-da.
Boom. So yeah, these are the 5 things, and guys, take notes here. This is the kind of stuff that we normally only cover on really expensive programs, but we want to get you guys laid, and we want to do it as quickly as possible. So we are going to give you all of these things, including a strategy to do each of them, so that you can implement it right now.
All right.
So,
and let's start. So we're going to start with the number 1. So you can put this in. Is you have to approach. So approaching, talk about it. We talked about a lot in the yesterday. We're going to talk about tons today and tomorrow. It is something that you need to do. If you're not approaching, your chance of getting laid are going way down. How often do women walk up to you and approach you and say, "Hey, I like you. You have nice hair." It's like, what are you?
So, in order to get this done, we don't need anything fancy. Approaching is the most important thing that you can do, and the absolutely least important thing that you can do. It's important in the sense that it will get you in the door. If you are not approaching girls, then you are not getting laid. But if you can do this thing, and don't overcomplicate it, guys. You want to know my favorite fucking opener? There it is. Awesome. It's fucking clever, witty. You can write that down. My favorite opener is hey. Because it doesn't really matter. The real goal in opening is not necessarily to do it well. It's just to get it done. Because that's when the real skills come into play. When you can put the real skills of seduction that get women into bed, it all comes after. But if you do not do this one single thing, you are essentially never going to have anything happen. So the way that I always wrap my mind around this is, when you are feeling those pains of anxiety, like, this is the most beautiful girl I've ever fucking seen. Now I'm panicking. The worst thing that's gonna happen if you approach her, you're not gonna bang her. Guess what? You're already not gonna fucking bang her unless you do this one thing. How do we, what's the quick fire strategy? Hey, now the real skills of seduction can come into play.
All right, so, and then those are we heard some good openers. What is like the worst opener, in your opinion?
Seriously.
What's that? Trying to think of the perfect opener. That is the exact right answer. We heard, the two answers I heard, the best might be, it's like, what's the worst one? One, my dick tastes like AIDS. I had a student, he was just feeling low, it's like, nothing worse, give me the worst opener and I'll use it, I'll watch. And he's like, say my dick tastes like AIDS. That's really bad. And I watched the girl's like, hey, so, my dick tastes like AIDS. What? And it, I had to really struggle to pull it off. That I thought was the worst. And then the other one that I could not get to work was, I like to rape little boys. You get a gold star if you can get that one covered, but don't try it. You're in bad territory. So if you want to learn more about coaching, we have the book that he wrote that's on Amazon Kindle. It's a bestseller now. Yay! How to Get Laid by Simply Saying Hello. It's 65 pages. It's all of everything you can ever need to know about coaching. You can get it on Amazon for like $3.99. You can get it on our website for $17 because we like to get, the internet. $2.99. Oh yeah, $2.99. That's how much it is on Amazon. And also, you can see like on page 2, this is included in the first module of Saying That Simple class. The entire book is just part of the awesomeness that we put in module 1. So we're so happy about it.
All right, so guys, I wanna ask you a question. What is, this is clever. What is the number one, the biggest cock block that you face? And just shout them out. What is it?
For friends.
For friends, the fat friends, the troll, that fucking girl that no, we came together, we'll be together, right? What else? 'Cause that ain't it. Right? Boyfriend.
Yourself. Your fear.
Yourself,
Yes, that guy. That guy is the biggest cock block you face. The guy that said yourself. You dick.
Stay away from him. Alright. No. What the biggest cock block is time. Guys, you are in a battle against the clock. Every night that you go out, we're from Las Vegas, we never hear those dirty, filthy, disgusting words, last call. But at the same time, at 3 or 4 in the morning, things are thinning out. Things are not looking good. You've either found somebody that you can take home tonight, or you're going home to Rosie again. You are always in that battle to figure out what girl can I actually take home. Because if you are not focusing your time on girls that you can actually take home, you're wasting your fucking time. The clock is ticking.
All right, and also on a macro level, like time is your biggest cock block because how many more years you're gonna have in your sexual prime before, like say your goal is like, well, I want to settle down and have a family. Until then, I want to fuck a bunch of tens. Like your time frame for your life is something that's short. So anytime you spend wasting that time, it's you're cock blocking yourself. You're letting time just go grab hold of your dick and throw it away.
So, how do we maximize our time? How do we focus our attention on the girls that we can actually take home? Because if I can think of something that's worse than a guy who goes out and doesn't talk to a single girl, it's the guy who goes out and talks to one single girl the entire night that he couldn't take home, even if she wanted to, even if she was dying to get laid by you, but you focused your time on her when she was in a situation that prevented her from being able to go home with you. And here's something that we're going to admit right now. When it comes down to seduction, situation is going to trump skill every time. When you are in a situation that is in a position where you guys can get laid, it's going to trump your abilities every time. How do we find these opportunities where we can actually get laid?
All right, so these 5 questions are on your handout. We made a mistake, they're like the second and third are switched on the handout, but the information's still there. These Normally, we hammer with our students to make sure they ask these 5 questions, not, always quizzing. What are her logistics? Because this will let you know if a girl can go home with you. You need to be asking these questions if your goal is to hook up with the girl that night. And like you said, there are girls who go out to the clubs specifically to get laid. And then a whole other subset who go out like, well, if the cards are right, like Eric was talking about yesterday, girls are going shaving their vaginas. Why? Because you think, well, maybe it could happen. So if you're asking these questions, you're really setting yourself up. Who was it yesterday that was talking about, yeah, what if you're talking to a girl and everything's great, and you hang out with her, and then like, well, I have to go and take my grandpa to the airport in the morning, and I'm the designated driver for my group, and I gotta go. Well, if you'd asked these 5 questions beforehand, then you'd say, all right, well, this girl's fun, exciting, interesting, she's totally into me, but there's no way she can hook up with me tonight. I'm just gonna be charming for 5 minutes, get her number, and then just do a little bit of texting and hook up with her later, tomorrow, on like a day 2, and then I'd spend my time finding another girl who I can take home tonight. Then I got the other one who's in like, the may or may not play, but she's at least in the pool. So we aren't going to talk about these too much. We usually do go into, but they're on your sheet. Tonight, go out, be sure you're asking them, at least the first 2. They really help you escalate more.
All right, the next thing that you're gonna have to do is escalate. And this is a topic that most people tend to think of it as one single thing, but we're here to tell you that there are many ways that you can arrive at that goal, and the goal is P and the B, hooking up, having sex. You can do any one of these things, and any one of these things in isolation, and it will count as escalation. So we're not going to give you all of them today, but we are going to give you one specific way that if you could just master the art of escalating in this one way, you will be hooking up.
All right, so this, we're going to be talking about 3D escalation, isolation idea that we said earlier, but these are all great ways. You need to be escalating. Somehow escalation needs to happen. All right, the next one that we're not going to talk about too much today, but we really want to stress is baiting to invest. Getting a girl to invest in you. This is like the holy grail. Yes? Oh, these ones?
Yeah.
All right.
We're actually going to get into specific examples of that in a second. So we're going to cover everything in a broad spectrum, and then we'll get back into specifics of it.
All right. But as you said, with the baiting to invest, very briefly, the principle of cognitive dissonance is just a well-understood psychological phenomenon. The more that you invest in something, the more you're going to backwards rationalize in your brain. You always like this thing, and that this is one of your favorite things. So it doesn't matter what it is. If you invest, you have like a shitty $300 car, and then you over the course of 6 months, you put $500 into it,